Hello, my fellow noobs. How's it going today? Perpetual Noob here with another episode of our blind run through Dishonored for the PS3. And before we continue on with catching up with Madam Noob in my life, how have you all been doing? Any big changes? Any awesome news? I love hearing from you, so let me know in the comments below how things are going with your life. Last episode, we essentially finished the Great Road Trip story. Now we're in Denver and making a new life here. It's been quite a change for me, but I'm less scared and more happily excited these days, which wasn't the case in the beginning. I mean, you saw that announcement video. I was anxious and worried. Now I'm filled with reluctant optimism. It's been a hell of a transition. I mean, I'm still not even acclimated to the altitude out here. Going upstairs can still wind me, which is fun when you live on the top floor of your apartment building and there is no elevator, because why would there be? Not in the healthiest state in the country. We make everybody walk. We won't need a Stairmaster, that's for sure. We aren't completely unpacked yet, and probably won't be for another week or so. We've made several trips out to places like the Container Store and IKEA, and have I mentioned how incredible IKEA is? I think I have, but my memory isn't being too reliable at the moment. IKEA is amazing, and everyone should always buy everything from there. Well, maybe not to that level, but you should at least visit one if you have the chance. It's definitely an experience. IKEA's and the Container Store's storage options have helped immensely with increasing our floor space. It's kind of nuts, to me anyway. I know, I'm being so domestic. The horror. But yeah, we went out nearly every day for the first week to grab some more shelves or rails or something for getting things off the floor so we can unpack more things and not feel cramped. It's been helping, but it's also been a lot of work. Madam Noob is a machine, though. I'll admit, she's the handy side of the relationship, and I'm totally okay with that. She also sees our space in ways that are a little beyond me at times. Like, she'll look around and see things like, oh, this type of shelf will work here. Let's put a rack over here and that'll hold these items. She's been incredible, and thanks to her, our living room feels like a living room now. Even though there are still some boxes, on the sides or in the corner. Now, I'm getting a little out of chronological order, because I'm big on that. Let's go only in chronological order here. We had to mount the TV, thanks to a gas fireplace, which I know, first world problem, but it is weird. Out here, everybody has a fireplace. I don't get it. I've never really been that big into fireplaces. But anyway, the space available, like above the fireplace, didn't contain standard stud placement, and the TV mount requires 2 studs. So, what do? Well, oddly enough, we already had a 4-foot by 2-foot piece of plywood, or something like that anyways. Also, don't ask why we had it and brought it with us. Well, okay, we needed it for structural support when packing the pod. So, thanks to Madam Noob, we devised a way to secure the plywood across all the studs available to us, which was like 3 of them. And then we anchor/secured the mount to the said plywood, and now our TV is safely mounted. Hooray! I mean, when I tell it like that, it sounds like it was a breeze to complete, when in fact it took something like 3 hours. Yeah, it was a hell of a project. We've also headed out every day to explore, to get intentionally and at times unintentionally lost, which of course, comes with its own stress. I mean, when you're living in another area for nearly a decade, you get used to a particular style of driving, and then, you could move into just like the neighboring state reality, and all of a sudden, everyone around you with their driving styles just completely bonkers. I mean, out here, speed limits are a joke. I'm getting pushed around when I'm doing 10 over the speed limit in like a neighborhood. People are still like, go faster, go faster. It's like, are you kidding? I mean, maybe I'm just an old grandpa these days with how I drive, but I don't think so. You put me on a highway, I'm doing at least 10 over, but out here, that's still the slow lane. So it's just another, transition, another adaptation we've got to make. And we'll get there at some point. But we've also met several of our neighbors, or at least a few of them, because there's quite a few out here. But we've played. They've pretty much all had dogs, which is awesome. There are just dogs everywhere, and pretty much everybody has a dog, and I love it because I'm much more of a dog person than a cat person. Cats are certainly adorable, but they are devil spawn. Let's be real, they just... Okay, there are some cats who are actually nice to humans, but for the most part, let's be real, cats just want their own... They just, yeah. They only want their, you know, what's good for them. they could care less about their human, you know, servants who feed them. But dogs are adorable balls of stupid. And, well, okay, I know, again, some dogs aren't stupid. But then they can still be really dumb. Even the smart ones can still be really dumb. And it's still really adorable. But dogs are everywhere out here. And I love it. Some of friends of ours out here actually have 3 dachshunds. And they are just so much fun. They're each their own personality, and it's so enjoyable to hang out with them. If you if you want to be my favorite person, send me adorable puppy pictures. They always put me in a good mood, even if I don't want to be in a good mood. I mean, I don't know if you've ever gotten into one of those days where you're just like, I just want to be mad, I just want to be angry, I just want everybody to leave me alone, I don't want to feel, you know, I don't want to feel good right now. I'm just that sort of upset. But no, you send me, you know, you show me cute puppy pictures, and gosh darn it, I just feel better. So we've started hitting various restaurants. I mean, you know, what else are you gonna do? Especially when your kitchen is still, like, the kitchen is now unpacked, but within the first, like, couple of days it still wasn't. So what do? You're gonna go out to restaurants, and when you're in a new place, what should you do? You should try all the restaurants you've never heard of, or in this case, restaurants you have heard of but didn't know were actually a thing, like Casa Bonita. That, I don't know if you've ever been. That place is bonkers. I honestly thought it was a fictitious place that South Park was parodying, but it's real, and it's exactly as South Park shows it. Like, it's incredible. Hell, the place even sells souvenirs with some quotes from that South Park episode. So they apparently appreciated it too. The food is not great, but certain meals are all you can eat. So who cares? We're America. We love crap, especially when it is unlimited. You know, it happens. At least the stage acts were plenty cheesy, and somewhat entertaining, but definitely cheesy. But their cliff diver was wicked talented. If you just want to have a fun night out, I would recommend that you go to Casa Bonita. Driving around during our, like, explorations and whatnot, we found that it's gorgeous out here. It's picturesque as hell. I mean, you turn west and there's, you know, there are the Rocky Mountains, and they look like they do in the pictures, where you're just like, holy crap, look at that. That's gorgeous. There are those snow-capped mountains, and there's tons of them all over the place. This is amazing. You know, and it's been weird because back where we're from, you know, I should say from New York anyway, there isn't anything like that. I mean, there's, you know, you could drive around and you'll see, like, the leaves or something. The leaves will be pretty on the trees during the fall, but that's it. Like, you don't come over a hill and all of a sudden, wow, there's nature's majesty, or at least, you know, nature's mountains, if you're into that sort of thing. Which, again, I tend to prefer to be inside, but I'm sure Madam Noob and our friends out here are going to eventually convince me to, you know, step outside and actually wander around outside. And who knows, maybe it'll be a good time. Another thing that we're still adjusting to is the amount of sunlight, which I know is a weird thing to say that you're adjusting to, but where we're from, again, where we've been for like the last decade, sun was like a rarity. And I'm not talking about the pony either. I'm just talking about, in general, sun was not something that you saw very often. It was the weather where we used to live was more like London's weather than like, you know, San Diego's weather. Whereas out here now, this is more like, I'd say it's more like San Diego in that you see so much sun. It's obviously not 72 and sunny every single day, which is like San Diego. San Diego is just, oh, hello, what day is it? Is it Christmas? Oh, I guess it's 72 and sunny. Okay. Is it, you know, is it 4th of July? Sure, 72 and sunny. Well done, San Diego. Out here it's out here it's just sunny, but it's still like, oh, it's actually getting close to fall. Okay. Though you still, like, you go like around noon, you go out to your car and you open it up and you're like, oh my god, it's so warm in here. What the hell happened? And it's because your car is being a greenhouse and it's been exposed to the sun for like hours. But it's like 50 degrees outside. So you're like, okay, well, I need to turn on the air conditioning at least for a little bit because the car is so freaking hot. Which is, I mean, it happened once in a while back in New York, but yeah, not to this level. And I mean, it's, you know, it's nothing, there's nothing big about it. It's just things you gotta get used to. You know, so it's changes and whatnot, and it's something I'm working on, you know, adapting to. And it's dry out here, which is a weird thing to say because when you see pictures, you know, you look at Colorado and you're like, well, there are trees and there's green. What do you mean it's dry out here? Well, that's just what I mean. It's an arid climate out here, so things actually like dry off, and like mold isn't an issue, which is very weird because our apartment back in New York was, you had to take extra steps to not get mold in the apartment. Like, you really had to focus. You really had to have, like, we have like a ton of fans. We have a ton of box fans now because that's what you needed to actually, you know, to actually keep your house dry enough. Like, if you came out of the shower and you're trying to run like the vent or whatever, that was like a day-long process. Like, the vent wouldn't work enough to dry out the place, so you'd always have to bring in a box fan and run that so that you could be like, oh, okay, we're actually now dry enough. Okay, good job. You know, out here though, you don't even need a freaking vent. It's crazy. It's just very, very weird, and something I'm still not used to yet. It's a nice thing to get used to, for sure. I'm not complaining about the fact that, oh, we don't really have to worry about mold now. Oh, damn, that sucks. What a terrible place to live. No, I'm not saying that at all. It's just, again, just a change that kind of weird. We've also now started the, I'd say the less fun part about moving, or maybe the scarier part. I don't know. It's now, I'm currently without a car, so it's time to
That might be worth checking out.
it's time to find a car for me, so that I can then start looking for a job. It's that little song and dance where you're like, okay, well, I need a job. You know, okay, well, can you get there? No. So I need to get a car. Okay. So to get the... So you need the car. Alright, cool. But then you need the job so that you could get a loan for said car. Blah, blah. Like, there's like this odd chicken versus egg, you know, plan that you got to go through before you can get one or the other. So for now, we're going to start with a car. And just, hopefully that will then, you know, hopefully we'll be able to pick up a, you know, something that'll work for the next couple of years anyways. Not looking for anything super fancy. And we'll then work on the whole job portion after that. But we have started looking around, like started hitting up like some places where I think it'd be kind of fun to work. You know, I'll admit I'm not really interested in going back to corporate. You know, my previous job, I worked in government contracting, and I mean, I know that not all of the corporate world is like that. There's some that are, you know, the commercial world where it's like, that'd be more like your, well, anything. That'd be pretty much more like your anything, like a Pepsi or a Legos or anything like that. That's your commercial world type stuff. Anything that's like your Boeings, your Lockheed Martins, your Northrop Grummons, anything like that, that's your government contracting. And as someone who has done that, I don't want to go back. I did not have a fun time, and it kind of sucked. So I'm currently looking for something that's a little less stressful. Hopefully I'll get to work in some sort of, like, you know, gaming shop. That's what I'm really hoping for. Something like a place that sells comics or, you know, board games and tradable card games. Because even though I don't play much Magic anymore, I'm still a huge fan of Magic. So I would love to work in a store where there's tons of that. And I mean, I know that wouldn't pay a lot, but it would still be something. It would still get me out of the house. You know. So that's something we're starting to look for. Hopefully I'll be able to find something soon. I mean, of course, it's near, you know, it's near like Thanksgiving, it's near Christmas. So every retail place is definitely hiring for, like, you know, seasonal work. But hopefully I'll be able to actually, you know, either get hired in for the seasonal stuff, but then actually stick around after that, or for more than just the seasonal work. Be kind of nice, honestly, so that I'm not temporarily employed. And the other piece of the drudgery that is coming this week is specifically paperwork. It's time to join the Colorado Collective and convert all of our papers from, you know, New York papers to Colorado papers. Specifically, you know, turning in the license, turning in, like, insurance, that stuff's important, gotta get all that done. And I can't wait. Can't wait. I mean, we were reading up on some of that right now, you know, the other day, and it's like, oh, there's actually more steps to do than when we moved to New York. So fun times. Can't wait to deal with that. So that's kind of where we're at now. Like, that's about it. You know, we've covered, you know, the Great Road Trip, which was quite an exciting yet thankfully boring excursion across the country. I mean, we did not there was never a moment where we were encountering, like, we had to worry about deer. I mean, thank God, because there were definitely times when we were out driving at night, you know, because it's fall, so the sun sets much earlier nowadays. But two, you know, it's fall. I was like, the second item is also, the first item. So the deer are thankfully now kind of starting to go into hibernation mode because it's starting to get cold, so on and so forth. So they're like, okay, well, we won't be out as often. But it's still, you know, it's still when it gets dark, you're like, oh shit, what are we, you know, we're driving at like, 80 miles an hour down the highway. It's dark out. We don't know the area well enough to then say, oh, well, we know that no deer show up here, or this is where the deer really congregate, so let's watch out. None of that. It's kind of just, well, let's hope nothing shows up, because if we crash out here, we're like 1,000 miles from where we used to live. And then we're still like 1,000 miles away from where we're trying to go. You know, AAA tows for a pretty decent distance, but they don't tow for that kind of distance. And it'd be a freaking shame. God, that would have made that trip a mess. Thankfully, we didn't encounter anything like that, which is why I say it was kind of boring, because it was just go west forever and ever and ever. Don't bother looking around. Don't look left or right, because you're never gonna go in those directions. So stop looking at it. You're just gonna tempt yourself and tease yourself with, oh my god, I wonder what's in that direction. Oh, I guess we'll never find out. Because you never go that way. Again, not the worst drive ever, because it was so uneventful. But oh man, there'd be times where, you know, you get kind of like, you start finding all these tractor trailers, and you're like, alright, well, we're all running around now. Please don't crush us. You're way bigger. And then you see people who do, the people who do stupid shit, like they cut off a tractor trailer, and you're like, oh my god, we're now all going to die because you just did that. Because that tractor trailer can't stop on a dime, and is now like, oh, I've got to slow down because somebody just got in front of me. And, you know, moments like that where you're like, please don't do that. Please leave the giant vehicles of death. Like, that's something that I found, that's something I've loved about the Mad Max movie, and I know this is a huge non sequitur now. But we're essentially, again, like I was saying, we're essentially done with the great road trip story, and even getting acclimated or getting settled in with Colorado right now. You know, we're pretty much all set with that. I can assure you that next episode we will be returning to our live commentary, and get back to that kind of format. So don't worry, we will have our freedom again to talk about whatever. We won't have these set limits of, you know, what can and cannot be spoken. Which, that's not what post commentary does. It's just what I'm saying, because I'm staring at like essentially notes in a script here. Whereas when I go into live, I'm not. I won't lie. I'm generally not staring at a script when it comes to live commentary. So that's why I feel more free when doing live. But a bit of a non sequitur. That's why with the tractor trailers and whatnot, I loved in Mad Max the war rig, and I thought it was a great representation of what tractor trailers are these days. Like, an actual tractor trailer is essentially like a war rig, where it is just, it's terrible. Like, they are like 10,000, 20,000 pounds, And when you find them at highway speeds, there's a fun little physics thing called momentum that's just like, okay, they've got a lot of you know, momentum you're gonna have to stop, and they're not gonna stop on a dime. It's like trying to cut in front of a train. Like whenever you hear those stories about somebody who like died on the train tracks because they tried to cut them off, and you're like, oh, that was silly, because that train's just a monster. It's like, oh, here's 100,000 pounds racing down the tracks at 40-50 miles an hour. It's incredible force, and that's why pretty much nobody survives one of those things. And same thing with encountering tractor trailers. And sadly, unlike what some of the I'd say car movies have shown in the past, you can't actually slide underneath a tractor trailer's trailer. It's too low to the ground and your car is too tall. You can't do it. So yeah, it's a little scary when you get surrounded by tractor trailers at 70-75 miles an hour, and then it's raining and you're just like, oh, I just want to be out. Let me out. Tractor trailers, please get out of the fast lane. Please go back to your slow lane. It's where you belong, so that I can pass you and pass you safely. So, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to talk about what's happening right now. Right here in the game. Because honestly, this was cool. I know that, you know, we've been trying to do as a kill as few people as possible run. Originally, I had ideas of actually making it we're going to get that ghost achievement and we won't kill anybody except like the, you know, important people. But obviously that lasted for all of like what, 5 minutes, I think. It was something ridiculous like that. It was fast when we kind of fell out of that first episode and everything. But I love that the game presented us with a non-lethal option for even like the important target, where it was like, oh hey, you can do it this way instead if you'd like. And I think that's really cool because that actually ties more into like the story itself. Like now, you know, we've branded Campbell, now he'll actually be killed by his own people. Like we didn't have to actually do it, we could just facilitate it. I think that was pretty nifty and well done, game. It was nice that it wasn't just, oh, you gotta go. It wasn't like an Assassin's Creed where like you just gotta go kill this guy, study him forever, do all the things, and then you can kill him. So it was cool. So that is all the time we have for today. Like I said, we finally dealt with Overseer Campbell. We've caught up with our life. We'll return to live commentary in the next episode. Thank you, my fellow noobs, for hanging out with me today. I hope you had a good time. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not currently a member of our noob community and want to stay up to date with everything happening on the channel, I hope you hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you join us. I am the Perpetual Noob, and I can't wait to hang out with you next time.